Thank you, guys.
What's up, family? Hi, hi, hi. Just taking a moment to take this all in. Yeah, it's such a pleasure to connect with all of you, see you all here today. How many of you are this is your first AUREA event? Ah, me too. Wow, look at that. Good job with your marketing, guys. And how many of you are having a good time? Yeah? All right, epic. Well, my name is Adam Roa. How many of you have absolutely no idea who I am? I would love. Okay, yes, awesome. I love that. I love that. That tells you how bad my marketing is. So, I am an artist, a spoken word artist. Spoken word poetry is poetry intended to be spoken, and it's a huge part of what I do, primarily for me. Art, the way that I see art, do we have a different one of these? Do we have a different one? We have 3 different ones? We'll try this one. Thank you. So one of the things I think is really important is that my art, my poetry, I write for me. I write for me. I share for me, and I know that you will receive what's meant for you. And what's really cool about everything that's happening now is that we all have different definitions of every single word I'm saying. Art, love, all of this, me, every single one of those words, we all have different definitions. So what I'm going to do today, through sharing of some poetry, I'm also going to get you to write your own poetry. I know, don't be so scared. You guys are amazing. So if you don't have a pen, grab a pen. I think the team's going to pass out pens, and also in your book, there's some blank pages too. Or if you have a giant tome of a journal like this guy, that is amazing. That's legit, man. He's got the chakras symbol. Hold that up. Let people see what you're walking around with. That's some Doctor Strange wizard shit. I love it. Yeah? Okay. And so what's cool about this is that because we all have different definitions of every single word that's being said, let's take a word like love, okay? We're going to do a quick exercise. Everyone close your eyes really quick. Close your eyes. And I want you to think about the first 3 words that come to your mind when I say the word love. First 3 words, just hold them in your head. Don't judge them. Literally the first 3 organic words. Open your eyes. And Dr. Strange, what is your 3 words? Connection? All 3 words.
Connection, intimacy, and sharing.
Connection, intimacy, and sharing. Did anyone have those exact 3 words? No. I have done this all over the world with thousands and thousands of people. I have never, ever had anyone have the exact same 3 words for a word like love, which means that every single person here, fundamentally at the very entry point of meaning for something as deep as love, we all have different definitions of that, which means that everything you hear today from me, you all will have heard different poems. Every single one of you is having a different experience. And that's the beauty of art. I absolutely love that. Now, so let's go into today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a 4-step creative process that I have used to create. It's really more of a lifestyle than anything, but very specifically, I've used it to create. I did a reality show after a breakup. I was in a 10-year relationship. Literally the day after the breakup, I hired cameras to follow me around the world, filming what it looks like to heal from that. And that was a year of my life basically crying all over the world in exotic locations. So if you want to see that, it's on YouTube. It's called The Art of Choosing Love. But something like that, when we started that process, we went through these 4 steps very intentionally to create. And so I'm going to teach that to you today and give you an opportunity to apply it. And you're going to see how creativity is more than a process you use to create. Creativity is actually a process that you use to expand. When we say, okay, we're going to expand our consciousness, these buzzwords, you're going to see that I have a thing with, let's actually get to what we mean when we say these things, right? This isn't Bali. This is Miami. Let's get real about what we're saying. And so when we talk about expanding consciousness, what are we talking about? For me, consciousness synonymous with awareness, right? To become more conscious is to become more aware. When we are thinking about what is our awareness, really what are we talking about? We're talking about our ability to pattern recognize, our ability to put together patterns. Okay, let's take this from a personal development context. In the world of personal development, we say, wow, I've just expanded my consciousness. I expanded my awareness. Generally, that happens in a cathartic experience like ayahuasca or something like that. And in that moment, we gain a piece of insight that puts together a pattern that we'd never put together before. Wow, this event that happened when I was 5 is the reason why I struggle with intimacy. Oh, I see it in a way I've never seen before. It's like, got it. You can go into a simple level, a biological level. Wow, I'm feeling this thing in my like this area. What is that feeling? Oh, I understand that when I eat something, that feeling goes away and I feel better. That feeling is a pattern that helps me understand that I'm hungry. So really, our awareness is about what patterns we can put together. Creativity is the process, the intentional process of putting together patterns you've never put together before. In poetry, words, I literally sit down and write a poem. I'm going, on another way of saying that is I'm going to sit down and try and put words and patterns that I've never put together before. It is a synonymous process. It is a parallel process to the process of our expansion of consciousness. That is why you are a part of creation. You are created in the image of the Creator. You are creating in every single moment because we are expanding in every single moment. Literally just a new definition of something like creativity or a new awareness that creativity might be an actual pathway for your personal development. Just that opens up an entirely new realm of potential that you couldn't see before. And awareness gives us choice. Awareness is not change. This is very important to understand. Every single one of you will leave here from the AUREA event and from my talk and all of this having gained new awareness. New patterns that you put together. Do not make the mistake of thinking you're leaving here changed. You change through making new choices with that new awareness in the direction of who you desire to be, and we call that process integration. You earn your change through the process of integration. Awareness is going to happen. And over time, as you make those choices over and over and over again, consistently, time and time again, in the integration process, you become embodied. That is embodiment. When you've integrated those choices to a point where you no longer have to consciously choose them, it's just a way of being. They're unconscious. Embodiment is often used strictly in the positive sense. Like embodiment is a good thing. You can embody dishonesty. You can embody an unhealthy lifestyle. You can be the embodiment of a cheat. I'm sure a lot of women have encountered those. Yeah. Yeah, men too. Fair enough. That's right. That's right. You let them know, Dr. Strange. Men have feelings too. Yeah. Yes, thank you. Thank you. And so it's so funny because now you make me want to go in a whole direction about masculine, feminine, and I'm sticking to the creative process. I'm sticking to the creative process. So when we understand, so creativity is a pathway for our personal development. I was asked this question at the beginning of the year. I took 3 months and I completely stopped everything. I basically shut down my business and just stopped coaching, stopped consulting, stopped doing everything, and sat with the question, is there something that would work for everyone? Plant medicine is great, but it's not for everyone. Yoga is cool, but it's not for everyone. There's a lot of different types. Same with breath work. I fucking hate breath work. And so like, there's so many different types of things. It's like, what could work for everyone, truly? And I believe creativity is that answer. Because I don't care who you are, what you do. If you have creativity, creative expression in your life, you will be happier. Not happy necessarily, but whether it's 1% or it's 10% or 100%, you will be happier with some form of creativity in your life because your creative energy is the purest expression of your soul. The reason why I could give you all an assignment to write a poem about love, for example, and every single person in here, your poem would be different, is because your creative energy is entirely unique. Your creativity, the process of putting patterns together, never put together before, your creativity is an expression of your consciousness, which is entirely unique. And so, when we learn about the power of frequency, how everything has frequency, right? Thought forms, emotion, everything has frequency. And we learn about the power of frequency through things like cymatics, right? Where you've seen like the little plate where they put the sand on it and they run different frequencies and it creates geometric patterns. And when we learn about sound healing, and we're even learning about these new technologies where they can go and blast like cancer cells with sound frequencies and explode, like the power of frequency to impact matter. What could be more healing of a frequency than your soul's essence moving through your system?
The last thing I want to do in the whole world right now is interrupt this. And I'm sorry for the conflicting advice, but it's being given to me in conflicting ways. They are towing again. I have a few cars that I'm told are going to be towed. I have the types of cars here. So pardon me, there's like 5 or 6 of them. So there's a white Mazda SUV, 4FZ license plate ending, white Mazda SUV. $300 or $30, you gotta go to the lot, so it's up to you. There's a Nissan Murano, white SUV. No shame in moving your car, but towing's up to you. There's a red Honda Civic. Maybe there's no one in this event apparently, but someone else I'm trying to save from a towing. There's a white Nissan Maxima from Ohio. Okay, I'm getting embarrassed up here, but that's all right. And that appears to be all of them, so let's tap back into the frequencies, and thank you so much.
I have no idea what the fuck I was saying. I didn't even know, I'm trying to remember what kind of car I drove. I'm like, is that me? What? Massey, you want to, the soul, yes, okay. Okay. All right. Everyone take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. So, I was speaking about the power of frequency. Okay, the power of frequency. We're learning more and more and more how frequencies that we can't even see have the ability to impact matter. Actually shift and shape matter, physical matter. Right? Your body, physical matter. And we also are learning that everything has actual energetic frequency, right? Your emotional state, your thought forms, they all give off frequency. You can go and look up Heart Math Institute and the work they're doing around the toroidal field and electromagnetism of your heart. There's frequency that you are emitting through what you think, what you say, what you feel. And so, if we know that frequency has the ability to impact matter, what could be a more healing frequency in the universe than your truest creative expression, the essence of your unique soul imprint being allowed to move through your system. There is nothing more healing. There is no sound bowl on earth that can be more healing to you than allowing that essence, that frequency to move through your system. And so what I want to do today is help you, because so many people say, oh, I'm not creative or whatever it is. And I said, yes, you are. You 100% are. Art is the tangible expression of creative energy. Right? Your creative energy expressed into tangible form, that's art. And so that could be the way that you do your taxes. That could be the way that you prepare a meal for your family. That could be the way that you organize your closet. Most people see these as just chores trying to get them done, but when you bring your creative essence to it, when you turn those Sunday morning pancakes into little Mickey Mouse ears with blueberry eyes, you are bringing your creativity to it. You've just turned it into art, and it's healing, and it has a different impact. For those of you who don't know anything about my background or who I am, which is most of you, is that I had a poem that went really viral. The reason I'm here, it really is because I had a poem that went viral. It's been viewed 250 million times. And that poem was created through a process that I wasn't even really aware of at the time. And the reason it went viral is it's about self-love. And it's because I wasn't on stage talking about self-love. I was doing a poem. And art has a really unique, I believe art is a technology. Art is a technology that bypasses the logical defense mechanisms of the human mind and penetrates into someone's emotional body. It doesn't matter how shut down someone is. They go to a movie or they put on music because of how they think it's going to make them feel. And so when I'm talking, even right now, you're filtering it through these logical defense mechanisms, which are important. They're important things for you to shape your own reality, decide what's true for you. Everything I say, you're going, do I believe that? Do I not believe that? Yes, no, maybe. The more things I say that you agree with, we develop more rapport. The more rapport we have, the more quickly you give me access to your emotions, which is why your mom can say that shit that a stranger could say, but when your mom says it, it drives you insane. And when a stranger says it, it wouldn't even matter. And so in that process of creating art, we have the opportunity to penetrate immediately into someone's emotional body. In personal development, you learn that all change happens with an emotional catalytic component. There's some form of emotion that's accompanying those shifts. You don't logic your way to your big transformations. They might lead you to a door that you have to open and walk through the tears and the screams and the whatever, or even deep levels of pleasure and bliss that you've never experienced before at deeper levels. But there's an emotional component. And so art gives us the ability to immediately enter into someone's emotional body, which means art is a technology that can shift people quicker than anything else that I'm aware of. Because they're giving us permission. You're giving me permission to make you feel something. And so this 4-step process, I've given you enough context, I think, for why it's important. Important for you in the evolution of your own consciousness, using creativity as a personal development pathway and tool and modality, and the importance of how much impact you can make through bringing your creativity, which is art, out into the world. Right? You all with me? Yes. Okay, how many of you would like to now know the 4-step process? Would you like me to share it? Yeah? Okay. Or do you want me to just audible and go into masculine, feminine, like Dr. Strange over here? Or is that... Yeah. I already have less time because everyone can't park in the right spot. So we can't do both. So, this 4-step process, I use the metaphor of a garden hose. Okay? You are all garden hoses. And as a garden hose, I want to water the seed of a creative idea. And so the water that flows through me is my creative energy. Some ideas need more of it, some ideas need less of it, etc. I need water. Excuse me. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
So we're going to water the seed of a creative idea with our creative energy flowing through us. Step 1 of this process is unkink the hose. You pull the hose out, and it's always got the kinks in it, and no water's coming through. You're like, why is this not coming through? Those kinks are the equivalent of your fears, doubts, limiting beliefs, and insecurities. All the things that are telling you you're not good enough, not smart enough. An example being, if you think that you can't sing, what are the chances that you're going to receive creative inspiration to write a song? So removing those fears, doubts, limiting beliefs, and insecurities. And so I want to share a poem with you, because that process, you can use creativity even for that process of unkinking the hose. And I wrote a poem that was a way of me working through some of my kinks. And I call this poem Misery's Anonymous. Take a nice deep inhale. Maybe sadness is my vice. That familiar habit, an addiction to suffering in my life. Is there a Misery's Anonymous? They say it loves company, so surely there must be some group out there meeting in secret on metal folding chairs, sitting in circles so that they can share tales of heartbreak and how life's unfair. Hi, my name's Adam, and I'm an addict. Hooked on sadness. I tried to give it up, but it keeps bringing me back. It's baggage. And every time I put it down, I found I don't know how to be when it's not around. The world sounds strange when I don't hear the pain, and it doesn't look the same without tears in my eyes, so I've tried to leave it all behind, but I relapse every time. The books say I'm not a victim and I'm choosing this. The books say I'm not a victim and I'm choosing this. But if I'm choosing it, that means that I'm using it for growth, but I'm so confused by this. It feels like I'm losing it because I'm caught in a loop and I keep doing it, but it's unconscious, so there is no reviewing it, only dealing with emotion as I'm moving it, but I've been doing that for years and haven't gotten to the root of it. So I'm not saying I'm a victim, but I'm not choosing shit. I'm sorry. I guess that's denial, right? I apologize. I haven't been sleeping very well at night. I've been staying up late watching videos of coaches telling me to take radical responsibility for my life. But I don't see how I'm not. I've accepted that the problem is me, but that hasn't made the problem stop. And I thought a lot about being broken. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but then I read this one quote in this book and it said addiction was a disease, so maybe I'm just sick. Maybe sadness is my drug and I don't know how to quit. I'm so sick of it. I'm so tired of being sad. It's driving me mad, and I've had it. I'm here because I need help, and I've had it. My name is Adam, and I'm an addict. Kinks. The fear that I would never get out of my depression. The belief that there was something wrong with me, that I was broken. The poem about self-love went viral, and it really is an understatement because it got 40 million views in the first 48 hours. And I got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages from people following that poem. A lot of them were thank you, I love this, etc. And a lot of them were like, help me. I got a lot of suicidal people reaching out to me saying they were thinking about killing themselves. They didn't know what to do. Please help me. And I dropped into one of the deepest depressions of my entire life because I felt like such a fraud. Because I realized I'd written this amazing poem that I loved so much and I thought it did so good. And then all these people were reaching out after they heard it and I didn't know what to say or do. Like I'd opened a wound and I had no idea how to help. I thought you were coming to tell me there were more cars. Jesus, people. And so it took me a really long time to work through those kinks again. I went through periods where I stopped posting any photos at all on social media, just quotes. And I went through periods where I just got off entirely. And then I thought the move was to just share about depression and what I was going through. And then suddenly I felt like I'd now become this person that people were just going to my social media so that they could feel better about being depressed instead of actually helping them not be depressed. And it just became this whole mind fuck for me. And that poem's an example of just working through that. Am I addicted to sadness? Is that what's going on here? What is going on? Also, the part of me that was a fraud is exemplified in the coaches telling me to take radical responsibility for my life. I was like, am I one of those? In a way, I'm writing about myself. Right? So we create our reality, but what does that even mean? Choose love. What does that even mean? And so that process is very nuanced. All of these steps that I'm going to teach you are 4 steps, but they're very, very nuanced. The amount of years that can just go into unkinking the hose, we're all doing that all throughout life, more and more and more. We're just unkinking that hose. And as we do, more energy is able to be gifted to us and flown through us out into the world. And so then we move on to step 2. Actually, you know what? I'm going to audible here. We're going to do the writing. We're going to do a bit of writing now. So we're going to have an opportunity to unkink the hose. So take out whatever your writing thing is and your writing utensil. Your magic wand or whatever the hell you're using. And I'm sure there are some people here with wands. And I know. I see you. You get it. I got one on my altar at home. And so you're going to now have a few minutes, and what I want you to do is I want you to write about that deep part of you, the deep kink in the hose. Pick the one thing, and I want you to free write. This is not a poem. There is no prompt beyond that. I want you to brain dump about a kink in the hose that you're ready to release. And we'll take a few minutes. Literally, your job is just to keep the pen moving. There is no right or wrong. No one's going to read this. You're not going to share it. Go. Do one more minute. All right, bringing those last sentences to a close. Okay. So now I'm going to move on to, you can just set that aside, save it. And we're going to move on to the second step of the 4-step process here. You've taken the hose out, you've unkinked the hose. The second step is connect to the source. Connect to the source. I believe in infinite realities. How many people share that belief? Okay, a lot of people here. So that means that there are versions of this talk that are basically exactly the same with one word different. There are versions of this talk where Dr. Strange is giving it, and I'm sitting there with the cool journal, right? There are versions of this talk that never happened. There are if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, that movie, like there's versions where we're all here trying to write with hot dog fingers. And so there's infinite realities, and those different realities, right, all have different vibratory signatures, different frequencies. And so there's a version of reality in which all of your wildest dreams come true. There's a version of reality where you write a poem or create something and it goes on to change the world, impact hundreds of millions of people. And there's a version where it never even gets finished. Or a version where you write it and the only person who thinks it's any good is your mom, right? There's a version of all of that. And so the question is, where are you pulling from when you create? Where is your radio transmitter assigned to as you're creating? And this doesn't mean that you can only create things that are happy, but there are versions of your creations that might come from pain that go on and create massive impact. Where are you attuning yourself to? And you can also use creativity to remind yourself where you want to be attuned to. And so I want to share this next poem with you as an example of that, of using that creativity to remind myself where I want to be attuned. And I call this poem, I Am Enough. Nice deep inhale. I am enough. But enough of what? Every time I hear those words, I feel like they keep getting stuck up in my head, conflicting with all the words that I've said to myself on repeat for most of my life. Yeah, I haven't been very nice to myself. Bottom to top, spent most of my time focused on how I was not enough. Flat feet, too slow. Chicken legs won't grow. Like self-deprecation was an occupation. I went pro long ago. And I know that the mind learns through repetition. And no matter how quiet I speak, it's always around to listen. Creating the vision of who I am based on my self-talk. So why not speak what I can and stop all the can-nots? Because I got a lot of knots. I thought a lot of thoughts that brought a lot of nada, so I fought to make them stop, but finally gave my ego what it wanted, and I told it what I am not. I am not dumb. I am not ugly. I am not giving up. I am not weak. I'll get back on my feet no matter how much I slip up. I am not broken. I am not afraid. And so when the going gets tough, I can see what I am not, and it reminds me I am enough. I am enough strength to overcome any obstacle that comes in my way. I am enough courage to keep my heart open after heartbreak. I am enough will to get through any hard day. I am enough fun to turn all my work into play. I am enough pride to not be torn down by what others say, and I am enough humility to own up to all my mistakes. It doesn't take a special ability, just a perspective shift to go through this list and always remember this. For everything I'm not, there's something that I am. For everything I can't, there's something that I can. I can be happy. I can be free. I can be authentic. In fact, I'm already me. And I am so grateful for me and everything I am. And so for the rest of my life, I'll do whatever I can to remember that, yeah, I'm not a lot of stuff. But there's one thing I am. I am enough. And so, again, step 2, where are we connecting to? Where are we pulling from? There's a lot of, again, ways that you can go about this, meditation or different, like a lot of ways. I have limited time, but I want to give this to you. And so let's move on to step 3. Step 1, unkink the hose. Step 2, connect to the source. Step 3, turn up the flow. When you're watering the seed of a creative idea, you can have a little trickle of creative energy that's coming out, or you can have a whole waterfall of creative energy. And so this is actually the equivalent of your habits, your diet, your routines, things that actually impact on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis, the amount of energy that your system can flow through it. On a very practical level, if you're eating a bunch of shitty food, it is going to take so much energetic resource for you to digest that, to overcome the poison that's being put into your body. That is energy that is not available to you to pour into the seed of a creative idea. And so when you look at, and I've done this very intentionally to the point where when I was working on my spoken word poetry album, there were different periods of time and different stages of the album, from the period where it was really focused on the music to the concept to the actual recording of the lyrics. And so while doing that, there were different morning routines that I had. There were different diets that I changed. When I was really wanting to get into the delivery of it, for example, I started eating a lot of meat. And when I was going into the concepting of the album, I was eating very little of it, trying to pull from up here. And so you can go to that level if you want. What are you wanting to create? And ask. Connecting to the source, right? Asking, how do you want me to eat? How do you want me to live? How do you want me to be during the process of birthing you? Well, I think women really understand that, because you birth life through you. It's a listening process. On a given day, you might need rest. Right? Don't have the energy you thought you'd have. Suddenly you want peanut butter pickle sandwiches, like whatever. Like giving what you need, whatever that body's calling for. And so allowing the receptivity for what is necessary to birth that creative project. And for me, I think one of the most valuable ways in which I stay connected to the frequency that I want to inhabit and I get more energy is paying attention to the little moments. The little moments. Because I feel like I can get lost in wanting to create big impact. How many of you want to make big impact in the world? Yeah? I'm not sure why the rest of you are here. You want to make big impact in the world. Got it. And so when we want to make a big impact in the world, what does that even mean? What does it actually mean? For me, it starts with gratitude. And so I have a poem that I want to share that is about this concept when I sat with the question, what really is the most impactful thing that I can do for the world? And I call this poem Heaven. Nice deep inhale. The most impactful thing you can do for the world is learn how to love life. All of life. Show people that being happy doesn't mean turning a blind eye to the pain and the sadness and the suffering that happens here. Show them that choosing love doesn't mean ignoring fear. It just means being willing to feel. Because those brave souls will always heal as long as they maintain the courage to feel. Because the fear of feeling is really at the root of every fear, which creates a fear of living because feeling's why we're here. So you can fight the fact that feelings past have felt so freaking hard, but it's the very fact that you have felt all that that feels like the part we should celebrate. Investigate. Learn to navigate with ease. Your emotions are the gift God gives you every time you breathe. Energy in motion with the strength to bring a king down to his knees, and yet contained within emotion is the key to set you free. Yes, contained within emotion is the gift of what being human is. A chance to feel all of life from deep sorrow to deep bliss. And you might wish the two would split, but the twist is that they'll always coexist because even the heartbreak you hate today had the way paved by a lover's kiss. So you could write your list of how life's a bitch, but don't forget the asterisk because for all the times you went through shit, it fertilized a lot of gifts. But if you only focus on what you lack, you can't appreciate what you've got. But with gratitude for what you have, you can see that it's a lot. And that is the difference between abundance and scarcity. It's not about what you have, it's about what you see. So the next time you forget how blessed you be, take a moment and focus on the next breath you breathe. The next time you forget how blessed you be, take a moment and focus on the next breath you breathe. And notice, you're right here with me. A miracle, a great mystery. Out of hundreds of trillions of stars in hundreds of billions of galaxies, somehow, some way, you're here today with me and we all breathe on a spinning sphere of chemicals spiraling through the universe. You were once one of 200 million sperm. You just happened to get there first. So how could you ever say you're cursed? You've been blessed since before your birth, and you might not think you have it best, but it could definitely be worse. And if you don't believe that yet, go tell the deaf what you just heard. If you don't like what you see, go tell the blind how much it hurts. On your hardest day, when you really want to walk away, go tell the paraplegic how it's unfair. Share how you want to run from all your problems while he's pushed everywhere in a chair. And I'm not saying that life is fair or that it's easy. We all go through a lot. But as you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, don't lose gratitude for the fact that you walk. Celebrate the fact that you can dance and sing. Embrace the abundance in the very act when you talk. Because when you can spot abundance in the simplest things, that's when more abundance unlocks. The simplest things. Taste, touch, breath, smell. Did you know there are people with something called anosmia, which means their sense of smell is completely lost. So while they literally can't smell the roses, do you want to complain you don't have the time to stop? Because this life is the only one that you've got, and there are people who would trade places with you without a second thought. So no matter how many tears, heartbreaks, or bad days you pay, the cemetery is full of souls that know living's worth the cost. Don't wait till it's too late to learn that lesson. Living is worth the cost. But make no mistake, being alive is not the same thing as living. Just like throwing something away is not the same thing as giving. So if you haven't yet found your love of life, I suggest you keep on digging and allow yourself to feel your way through all the hurt and all the rage. And as you feel, allow yourself to finally turn the page. It's how we heal, and it might hurt like hell, but you'll have shown us we'll be okay to feel it all and still love life. That's heaven. And you'll have helped pave the way. That is heaven. Can you feel it? Heaven is here today. So we're going to do another bit of writing. What's the time? We're going to do another bit of writing. And so we're going to do a bit of free writing, but this time I want you to write about what reality would look like if you'd unkinked that hose. That first thing that you wrote, free write. Connecting to the source, turning up the flow, what it feels like, the appreciation, the gratitude in your system, in your body. What does your life look like? What does it feel like to have unkinked from step one? A few minutes. Have fun. Yes, repeating it. So you're going to free write about what life would look like, how you'd feel, what it looks like, what you could do, etc. if you unkinked the hose from that first step of free writing. Your job is to keep the pen going. Again, no one's going to read this. This is just for you. Trust the process. We're going to do one more minute. sentence to a close. And returning to the space here, if we could turn off the dental office music, please. Thank you. I like it too. It's just a joke. Come on. So, step 4. So the first call out. Step 1 is unkink the hose. Step 2, connect to the source. Step 3, turn up the flow. Absolutely. Step 4, spout it out. Spout it out. So when you have a hose, you can just, let the water come out the hose. You can use your thumb. You can use one of those gun nozzles. You could put a sprinkler on the end of it. This is about the unique way that your creative energy leaves you and enters the world. This is your story. This is your skill set. This is your intention and your desire, and this is the medium of expression that you choose. All the little elements where you bring your unique creativity to it and craft it is spout it out. And so this is where you start to develop even your own style. Right? One of the things that I've been told a lot about my spoken word poetry, I have people that come up all the time. This is an interesting compliment. They're like, I really hate poetry, man. But I really like the way you do it. It doesn't really it's not like poetry I've heard before. And so I don't know why that is, but that's just from doing it. There's a way that we develop. As each and every one of you has your own way, your own style, and is going to resonate with different people. And even the messaging and the intention of what goes into these things. What is it that you really want to say? In this world of social media copycatism, right? Where everyone's like, oh, let's do the next thing that works for the algorithm. What is your actual message? Why are you making it to begin with? And then how do you bring your uniqueness to it? AI is really interesting because what is going to happen is we're going to see a flood of content into the metaverse. We're going to see more content than ever because now you can outsource your creativity. You can ask it to write your captions. It can give you ideas. It can generate the artwork for it. It can do all of these things. It gives you the Twitter threads. You can hire VAs overseas for $5 an hour who are going to post it for you and respond to your comments. Literally all of this. I see you, bro. I see you doing this. And so all of this stuff that's happening is going to mean that there are more people than ever who are going to be putting out more content than ever. So how do you stand out? What is that thing? It's your creative essence. It's the thing that makes it where when they do the exact same thing that you do, there's something different. There's something that stands out. The unique essence of human creativity cannot be outsourced. And so, what does that look like? And so this poem, I decided at midnight last night that I needed to memorize this because I wanted to do it. Because I was thinking about what is the golden age, and I was thinking about this whole AI thing, and I was thinking about what that actually looks like in this world, and I was thinking about all of the content is going to become really cookie cutter. There's going to be some very specific languaging that's going to be out there. There's going to be a lot of topics that everyone speaks to. And one of those topics that everyone speaks to on the Instagram, because, everyone, the only actual certifications or requirements you need to be a life coach is an Instagram page. Didn't know if you knew this. And so everyone will have their Instagram pages and they're spouting out, and it's going to be regurgitation of a lot of the same messaging, right? That's going to happen. And as more of that messaging goes out and AI is pulling from the internet to see what's going out there and what's trending, it's going to generate more of the same messaging because it seems to be popular. And one of those things that drives me insane is when, things like love is the answer, I know. Hold on. Love is the answer. Yes. And? What does that actually mean when we're saying love is the answer? Just like when I had the poem go viral that I said, is it all about loving yourself? And then when people were asking me, how do I do that? I was like, what? And so love is the answer. What does that actually mean? So this is my take on things like that. The uniqueness of what I desire to do with all of my content, all of my poems. I want to give you different perspectives on things. I don't want you to believe what I believe. I don't need you to see things the way I see things. I want to open your mind to different perspectives that make you go, maybe there is a different way of viewing this. Because I believe if you start viewing it differently and you start sharing about that, I might encounter that. And what we start to do is we actually build out more of the oneness. Because the absolute truth is the entire cumulative sum of everyone's relative truth. And where people get fucked up is thinking that there's some empirical truth and some moral hierarchy, as if your spirit and your soul is somehow more spiritually Boy Scout than mine or theirs. And it's tough in this industry, and you can tell that I was part of the problem. I felt like I was part of the problem. I got hired, I got paid $1 million for a 1-year coaching contract, for a one-on-one coaching contract. And I was like, what do I keep doing? Do I just keep raising prices? Like, what the hell do you do? It just blew my mind. It's an interesting story. We don't have time. Go check on your cars. And so with this thing, and it blew my mind, and I realized, what are we doing in the personal development industry? What is that happening? We're all saying the same thing, and then good marketers are being confused with great coaches. They're not the same. And so what is actually happening? And so all I desire to do is get you to think differently. That's all I want. And so this is a different perspective on that answer, that love is the answer to everything. Nice deep inhale. A lot of people say that love is the answer, but what's that actually mean? I think a lot of people use love as an answer so that they can seem like they've thought it through and know what to do, but I really question that. It seems more like love is a cop-out answer to any question that gets asked. Because love is at the center of all of this. Love is the reason we all exist. And so when someone says love is the answer, there's really nothing to argue with. But that's like saying the most important thing you can do is breathe. Or maybe drink some water, eat, or sleep. After all, if you want to help anybody, you have to satisfy these base needs. But if someone told you the answer to everything is breathing, would that feel like enough? I think most of us would be wanting more, so why is it different if they say love? For most people, love is just a concept, a feeling, something they hope will happen. They might have heard that love is the answer, but might not understand how to put love in action. And what happens when all the actions of the world come from love? Do Democrats and Republicans suddenly agree on all this stuff? Is there clean water available for everyone? How about food? Do we have enough? What about labor slaves? How do they get paid? With a currency of love? And so yes, love is a necessity, a need just like the air we breathe, but it's not fair to simply repeat that love is the answer to everything. People deserve more than that, a better answer when the question's asked, something to help them understand how to act and not just perpetuate pain from their past. I'll speak for myself. I want more. From all of you who have figured it out, from all of you who understand how to take the foundation of love and turn it into action that works for everyone, I want to know what you've done. I want to understand who you are. I want to listen to what you have to say, because I'm still trying to find a way to do more than just repeat love is the answer as if that's okay. Because it's not okay. It's not an okay answer if it still leaves us guessing. And repetition is not enough to just ensure that we get the lessons. It's obvious we need some more directions, or at least some more suggestions, because if love was enough of an answer, why do we still have all these questions? I've never performed that before, by the way. I've never performed that before. I was like, let me take it to the most love is the answer place I possibly could think of, AUREA, and do it, because I really believe that asking those deep questions into what does love even mean? What does love mean to put into action? When we say love is the answer, what does that mean? Manifestation, we're talking about manifestation. What does that even mean? All of that. And so now we're going to take an opportunity for you to write your expression, you to spout it out. And so what this looks like, this is my suggestion. So you're going to have time and you're going to write a poem. For those of you who want to know my take on poetry, poetry is writing without rules. Writing without rules. Remove the grammar. It doesn't need to rhyme. You don't care about the structure, whatever, punctuation. I don't give a shit. And so, you're going to have an opportunity to write a poem. What I would like you to do is take what you did in steps 1 and steps 3, right? And if you need some inspiration, go back through it. And when you think about spout it out, you go in there and you circle or you underline the parts of your own writing that stand out to you. As you're reading your own writing, they have some kind of charge. And that could be the starting point of a line. Could be the start of your poem. It could be the concept that you want to develop, whatever it is. This is an opportunity for you to just put this into practice. And don't worry, you don't have to share this with anyone. This is for you to practice these 4 steps. If you get stuck or hung up, go back to the writing that you did, read it, feel into it. Either the kink itself and what that feels like, or the version of you without the kink. Feel into one of those depending on where you're at in your poem and just continue writing. Allow it to flow through you. You don't need to go and get it. Clear? All right, have fun. Dental music, please. gonna do 2 more minutes, 2-minute warning. Seconds. All right, putting those pens down. If this is something that has inspired you to keep going after it, amazing. I would love for you to finish it. How many of you, we're going to take some shares with the last little bit of time here. And how many of you felt like that experience of writing, it surprised you what came out? Look at that. I never know if this is going to work. No, amazing. How many of you feel like this is something that, a technique that you actually want to utilize and keep like exploring this? Amazing. Very, very cool. Okay, and so we probably have time for maybe like 3 or 4 shares. Oh, you want to go? You're like, all right, first one. Yeah, come on up. So one thing that I'll say, you're going to come all the way up here. Hold on 1 second for me to say one thing here. Sharing of art, like I said at the beginning, the sharing of our art is the art is the tangible expression of your creative energy into form, and your creative energy is the unique frequency of your soul, which means that art is the expression of your soul. It's something very vulnerable. Can we take the dental music down? Thank you. I love it. And so we, as oftentimes as kids, we've heard this kind of story, right, where a kid will be singing and then their parent or their friend will say, oh, you don't sound good or whatever, and then they just shut down their singing voice and don't sing anymore, or they're told they're not a good dancer or whatever it might be, right? So at these workshops, what I really like to do is we are going to rewire the brain. We are going to create a new classic conditioning model for the person who's willing to share their soul with us. So how this works is when you come up to share, this is what you're going to do. You're going to stand, you're going to take the mic, you're going to take a moment, you're going to share your name, and that's it. There's no story behind this. Don't go into the story, okay? Just share your name, take a nice deep breath in and out to arrive present in the moment, and then share your poem. When you're done with your poem, when you finish, put your hands together so we know that you're done, and then as an audience, we are going to give a round of applause as if they were Taylor Swift or Beyonce winning a Grammy, so that they can see that sharing themselves, being willing to step into that vulnerability and show that courage, deserves to be rewarded. Are we all on board with that? Yeah. Let me hear the example so I know it's good enough. Let me hear this pause. Come on. Perfect. All right, now come on up. What's your name?
Chastity.
Chastity? Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Name, deep breath.
Chastity. I love you a latte. Sipping on this latte as I listen in, angelic music playing, lighting me up within. Burst of energy flowing in a room of love, All we are and all we need comes from within and above. Sipping on this latte, warming up my soul. How lucky are we to have heard and answered the AUREA call? A golden age of leaders, all activated today, making the world a better place for all and letting love lead the way. With my latte.
Thank you for I appreciate it. All right. Yes, absolutely. Come on up. How's that? Sipping on this latte, warming up my soul. I love that. And she plugs AUREA in there. I see what you guys did. Come on up. Hi. Okay, so name, deep breath, and then share your poem, okay?
Marja. Kink in the hose, ready to release, flow, gush, all that is me. My voice, my light, my gifts of being free. Setting the aha that opens doors for others to be free. I speak, I write, I smile, and I hug. I share, I listen, and connect, divine above. Inside, outside, and below too. There's nothing stopping what I'm here to do. What's the kink? Where's the link between the I am, really am, and the one I pretend to be? Abundant storm, water, sun, thunder, and rain. It's time to take my throne. Where I serve, all with my access to the wealth that flows through and due to me. Now it's time to stay connected to source and turn up the flow. I am so grateful for the turn up as I show. An impactful flow up, flow out, and across. I am the ocean, mother life, breathing life in the deserts, the stars bringing twinkling in the darkest of moments. Abundance is not something I've got. It's the energy I am. The kink unwinds. I feel it, that pain in my gut, in my arm, in my back, and in my brain was nothing more than the unwinding of the rain. It's been dripping and drizzling for a while and even leaking through my tears, but now all the fears have become merely ghosts of past years. I smile and dance and laugh and chant because now I remember who I really am. Thank you, for now I see the abundance that flows is always me. I now direct the powerful roar of the water. I do it, baby, like I oughta. Knowing I only focus on what I want to grow, I nurture, shine, and water. The seeds I planted growing out of me, my hands, my legs, remember the dreams, the premonition that makes my skin tingle as I feel the trees of lives intertwined in me. It's time, divine. Yes, you. Yes, me. It's time. Ocean, shine the sun. I am the source. I am the one created by our creator to create. Let's play, laugh, jump, and it's not later, it's today. Right now is all there is. Present time, open the gift. They've been waiting, water baby. Stand up, shine up, step up. Share what you're creating. Words, art, wisdom, and play, meals that fill, all another way.
What the fuck was that? Yo! My goodness, you just kept turning to the next page. It's just like, what is happening? That was amazing. Yeah, absolutely. She's gonna. I can't. Whatever. All right, I got time for one more. I gotta go to Doctor Strange because I've been harping on him all night, bro. What's up? What's your name? There you go. There you go. So your name, deep breath, and then shake.
All right. Thanks, boo. All right. My name is JJ. Or Doctor Strange. There are many moments through a person's lifetime. There are many moments through a person's lifetime that will cause pain and heartache, which define us, shape us, guide us. Equally so, there are beautiful ones that inspire and motivate us to strive and thrive for greater moments. However, the tough moments in life are the seconds in time which will build the scars, the wounds, the breaks that create the shields, as well as the standards for our future. For some, it will make us. For others, it will break us. These are the moments we must cherish, embrace, and look forward to. These are the definite moments that imprint our character as well as our belief system. If we understand these milestones and surrender to the purpose they serve, we don't need to heal from them, we learn from them. This is where the work begins. This is the true growth. To heal thyself is to accept and understand thyself. What am I doing today? Where do I want to be? What are the things that will fill my soul and give me peace and purpose? What are the things that must change in my life for those things that I want so much to happen? Who are the people I must surround myself with, to learn from and grow with? What traits must they possess to qualify as genuine, credible, quality people? With so much noise in the world filled with people that fundamentally care about what others can do for them, how do you filter out the crap, the frauds, the ones that will show up with kindness, yet will turn in a moment's notice? What is that I must accept responsibility for, and what I must see and what I must bring to me? It is a lesson that I will learn. It is the lesson that will create me, all of me. I am already the best of me.
Appreciate you, it's so nourishing to my soul to just witness the creativity of other humans. It is just such a special experience. Each one of these poems completely different, completely different. Yours almost felt like journaling into how do I better myself? There was this aspect that I really loved, asking these deep questions, which I really loved. And we had the AUREA plug and the latte, and I love that image sticks with me of taking a sip of a latte and warming my soul. I'm seeing a cup that's actually got glowing in it, it just sticks with me there, and I'm inspired. And then I don't even know what the fuck to say about this. You know what I mean? She wrote Homer's Odyssey in 10 minutes. You're like, what? Come on. And so I'm just inspired by your channel. What was able to come through you in that short amount of time, that is inspiring to me. And so when we allow ourselves to receive the creativity of others, we are allowing ourselves to alchemize with the soul frequency of other human beings. And when that happens, we will take and we will download the codes. And we will receive what is meant for us. And when we recognize and intentionally lean into the process of creativity for the new pattern recognition, we can actively take in the new coding that we just received and take what is meant for us that will help us expand into even greater versions of who we're here to be, and therefore create from a space that will create more impact because it's authentic. It's real. It is you. the deepest levels of you. And when you allow more of yourself to be seen, that is vulnerability. Vulnerability is the gateway to connection. When you allow more of yourself to be felt by other human beings, you are allowing more of your soul's surface area to interface with life. You are able to receive gifts at an even deeper level. And so I want to encourage each and every one of you to see creativity, not just as a hobby, not just something you do for fun, but as the very essence of what it means to be an expanding soul in a human body. I appreciate that you've all given me the gift of your presence. In a world like today, the biggest gift we can give is actually the gift of our presence. Thank you for being here with me today. For those of you who, most of you, now you know who I am. I don't know how AUREA does it. Thank you. I don't know how AUREA does it in terms of like finding me, but it's Adam Roa, R-O-A. You can find me in a lot of places. And then for those of you who want to do another one of these, but different, I'll have an event happening at the end of the month at Hanu Yoga called Poetry and Possibility. So thank you very much. Can we get a round of applause for Jeff and Jackson and the team that put this whole thing together? Thank you for all of the work that has gone into this, guys. Thank you for inviting me to the stage. My name is Adam Roa. Thank you for coming to Life is Poetry.